Hey guys, it's Jason with the Boardgame Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a little micro game from One Free Elephant Games called Microbrew. Microbrew is a two-player game that's a micro game, hence the name Microbrew. And in this game, players are trying to have the best brewery and having the most loyal customers at said brewery by giving them the best kinds of beer that they want and that they like, trying to have beer that doesn't have imperfection so they can advertise and bring people to their brewery, just trying to out brew the other player. So that's enough talking about it. Let's go down to the table, see how it plays. So here is a game of Microbrew set up for two players. That's all it can play is two players. So let me explain setup real quick because I already did that to speed this along. You're going to shuffle the customer deck. You're going to flip up two thirsty customers. You're going to give each player a loyal customer, which is someone they can always give drinks to. You're going to flip three recipe cards. Put the rest of the deck here. First player is going to get one. Second player will get two. They'll take one, find which one they like, put the other one in the deck. I already did that. Each player is also going to get two in-game goal cards, which look something like that. They're going to give you an extra loyal customer if you can meet a certain condition. There'll be one face-up that both players can shoot for. We're also going to have each player's going to get a still, which I'll explain how they fill up in a second. They'll each get two meeples. They'll have two cubes for cash trackers. They'll both start on 0. They'll have the brewery right here with the brewmaster, which is just this disc. It goes on, it starts out on manage, and then we get started. Well, let me explain how you fill the still. So to fill the still, you're going to reach in this, which has all of the disc in it. These are called worts. The green ones won't be in there, but I already put them in there. So you're going to reach in here until you fill. You're going to fill left to right, bottom to top. Then once you fill everything, you're going to replace one of the middle ones with a green one. That's what it says to do on your first turn. So I already did that. So we filled, and then we did that. Then you put the rest of the green ones in there, and then you close it, set it aside. All right, so now how you're going to play Microbrew is on your turn, you are going to place a worker in the brewery, and you're going to take an action. So it's this player's turn, they're first. If they had any beer completed, which would be one of these recipe cards, you take tokens out of the still and fill it. I'll show that when I do the bottle action. You would ferment, which means take a disc off, and I'll go into that a little more later. All right, so let me explain the actions. So you can look at the card here. These are the available part of the available actions. So you can see you have mash. Mash means you would get into the tin. You would take out disc randomly to refill all the empty spaces on your still. Brew. Brew is going to let you go down to your still, and you can move one disc following a certain order. Darker discs have to move down, have to swap with something that's lighter than them. Lighter discs have to swap with something that's heavier or darker. So in this case, I could take this orange one, yellow one, and swap with this orange one. You can keep swapping as long as the rules are followed. Green ones can always swap, so I could always take this yellow one and swap it with the green one, and that's fine. So that's brewing. Two people can go to brewing. There's break. Break just means you get $1, and any face down customers would flip over. I'll explain what that means later. Bottle. When you bottle, you're going to take all the discs on a row of your still, and you're going to put them onto one of your recipe cards. So in this case, I could take all the discs from here, and I would put them on my recipe card. This is going to help me get beer to serve to customers. You're going to try to match these symbols on the card with the symbols on the people. It has nothing to do with the disc you put on the card. It just has to do with the symbols that are on the recipe card with the customer. So that is bottle. Next is flush. You can see flush right there. Flush is any discarded discs that taken back and put into the tin. There's also advertise. Advertise is you can take one of your recipes. You can see there's this little area down here for the recipes. This is a contaminant. So say I had 2 yellows, an orange, and a brown. A brown would be an incorrect color for this bottle. So when it comes off after one of the fermentings, it would be a contaminant. In order to advertise, you have to have a non-contaminated bottle. You're going to pay $4 per loyal customer you have. So in this case, I have one customer. I'd pay $4. I would take this card. I would match it with a customer up here that has the same kind of beer type. So at this time, there would not be one. So I wouldn't do that. I'm looking for that bottle. And then that person will become a loyal customer. So instead of serving them beer, I'm basically just drawing them to my brewery based on my awesome advertising. So that's advertising. Next thing is, we'll go down here, move the brewmaster. Next thing is we can go to manage. So manage means you're just going to go here, you're going to pay some money. So $1, if I go there to pay overtime, I can take one of my previously placed workers and bring it back to be used again. $2, I can take 3 recipes. I get to keep one, I get to put one face up, and then I get to put the other one back in the deck. For $3, I can hire a staff. I can take my extra worker that's hanging out next to the brewery, and it now is in my pool forever. And for $4, I can upgrade. You can see on the still there's an empty row. So if I paid $4, I would get this little hammer, and then I can start filling this row with tokens from the tin. So that's how upgrading works. And also there's serving. So serving is when you're going to take a fully fermented bottle of beer, contaminated or not. You're going to serve it to a customer. So in this case, this just happens to match. That's dumb luck. So when you serve it, there are a couple different conditions. You can look at the recipe. This has 2 yellows, 2 orange. You're going to look at the customer. So I'll show you this customer. This customer has 2 yellows and 2 orange. If you can match all the symbols exactly, that's called a perfect. You're going to get to take one of your workers that were previously placed at the brewery back, and you get $4. If you're missing 1, it's smooth. If you're missing 2 or 3, it's rough. 2, it's rough. And if you're missing 3, it's muddled. If you serve it to if you serve anybody less than perfect, they're going to get flipped back down. They're going to flipped over. They cannot be served again that round, either down here or up here. If you serve someone up here a perfect beer, they become a loyal customer in your brewery. And the way you win the game is when the deck runs out, whoever has the most loyal customers is the winner. Or if all 12 of the customers are loyal, whoever has the most loyal customers is the winner. If there's a tie, it's whoever has the most money wins the tie. And if there's still a tie, then the winner is the beer. So you don't want to let beer win. All right. So let's go through, I'll just go through a round and you can get the gist of how we play this game. So let me put all this stuff back. All right. So it is this player's turn because they have the first player marker. So what they're going to do is they're going to take one of their meeples and they are going to brew. So they want to brew. So they're going to go here. They're going to take this one down here because it's darker. And then that's all they're going to do. So now they have 3 browns and a yellow and an orange in that row. So that's their turn. Next player can go anywhere they want. If they boot this player out, that player gets their meeple back, but they cannot boot themselves out. So black was here. They couldn't go there until someone else boots them out. So let's see. What do they want to do? Let's see what their beer looks like. Here's what the recipe they have. Ooh, 4 yellows. All right. All right. They're going to bottle, just so you can see how that works. So what this is going to do, they're going to take this recipe, which has 2 yellows and 2 brown. They have to take all the tokens off of one area. So I'm going to take them out of this row. You can see there's 2 yellows, 2 browns. And then this is going to be a bottle that I'm going to start fermenting so I can sell it to a customer. All right, so then it's this player's turn again. The bottles ferment on every single player's turn. So on their turn, this player gets to ferment their bottle. Let's see, they're going to bottle as well. So they're going to boot me out. Black player comes back here. And they would like to bottle this one, which is 3 yellows and a brown. They don't have 3 yellows and a brown. So what they're going to do is they're going to take these 4 yellows and they're going to bottle this row. And then whenever they get to the brown one, that's going to be a contaminant, which is fine. They just can't advertise with it because it's not perfect. Next, it is black player's turn. They get to ferment again. They are going to, let's see. They're just going to bottle again. So white player gets their meeple back. Oh, this player is going to ferment too because they have a fully bottled beer. They're going to bottle this one right here, which is 3 oranges and a brown. They have 3 oranges and a brown. What can you see that right there? Sort of. Let's go down here. So they have 3 oranges and a brown. So they're going to take these 3 oranges and the brown. 1, 2, 3. All right, so now they have 2 bottles of beer. This player is the first player now. Both players are going to ferment. So now there's lots of beer getting fermented. White player is going to, I think they're going to bottle again. Yeah, they have to bottle. So they're going to bottle, boot the black player out. So then they're going to bottle this, 2 orange and 2 yellows, to bottle this one that they started out with, which is 2 oranges and 2 yellows. All right, so then it's black player's turn. All the bottles ferment. All right, so now this player has a fully fermented bottle. So what they're going to do is they are going to get a customer. So they're going to come up here. They're going to serve. So they're going to take this. They can serve it to either their loyal customer or any of these. They're going to serve it with this one because it needs 2 yellows and 2 browns. They have 2 yellows and 2 browns. It's a perfect. They get to bring one of their workers back. And then this player is going to get $4. So they're going to move their cube up 4. And now this player has 2 loyal customers. And the recipe that was used goes back in their hand to be used again. This player comes over here. They're fermenting again. This one has a contaminant. Ferment, ferment. And white is done, so they pass. So it comes back over here. Ferment, ferment. This player has something else they can serve. So they are going to go here and serve. They're going to serve this one to their loyal customer. It has 1 match, so 4, 3, 2, 1. It's a muddled beer, so they're going to get $1. And because they didn't serve them the one that they wanted, this will get flipped face down and they can't be served again this round. It goes back to this player. They ferment. They don't have any workers still. Comes back here. They are going to, maybe they can bottle. Let's see, can they bottle something? Yeah, we'll bottle. So they're going to bottle again. They're going to come up here, boot this one off. They're going to bottle this one. So they're going to take this row. 1, 2, 3. They have an orange, so that doesn't match, but that's fine. All right, then it's this player's turn. They ferment. They are going to serve. So they're going to come here, boot this player out. And they're going to serve this one, which is 2 yellows and 2 oranges, to their favorite customer, which is 2 yellows and 2 oranges. And they're going to get $4 and take a dude back. So they'll take this guy back, take $4. It doesn't give them an extra guy, which is fine, but this goes back in their hand. They get some money. Now it comes over here. It's this player's turn. They're fermenting. They're running out of stuff, so they're going to mash. So the way that mash works is you're going to get in this tin. You're going to randomly take stuff and you're going to refill. This, all right, so then there's that. So they're done. Comes over here. They're fermenting. All right, they're going to go ahead and serve this to this guy. So they have 2 matching symbols because he needs 1 yellow and 3 brown. This one has 3 yellows and 1 brown. So 2 matching symbols is, that's 4, that's 3, that's 2. So that's a rough one. So they're going to get $3. But this one also has an extra bonus where if you have a sweet beer, you get an extra $3. So this player is going to get $6. So that brings them to 10. You get this recipe back, and this player gets flipped face down. And that was a serve, and that would be the end of the round. So at the end of the round, there's going to be a couple upkeep phases. The brewmaster is going to move to the next action. When he goes to the next action, he's going to do what it is. So flushing is putting all of these back into the tin. Then everybody's going to take their workers back. So, oh, problems. So they'll all take their workers back. So white gets their workers back. Black gets their workers back. Any customers that are flipped face down get flipped back up. You're going to bring out a new customer. And you're going to bring out a new recipe. Then we're going to play through it again. And at the end of the game, you're going to see who has the most loyal customers. You're going to look at the scorecards. And each player is going to pick one of these that they think they have the most of. And then hopefully they meet the goal and they'll get an extra loyal customer. So that is how Microbrew works. Let's go up to the top and see what we think about it. Okay, so that was Microbrew. This is a really fun little game. I played it a couple times with my buddy, and I played it once with my wife, and we had a great time every time. It's just the tension of trying to be that first person to brew that beer, to snag that loyal customer to come to your brewery and not to theirs, and trying to make sure that you can get enough of certain countries of customers so you can meet your goals, or having enough of customers that like certain types of ingredients so you can meet your goals and get that extra loyal customer to maybe push you over the top. I like all the mechanisms where if you go to a place that somebody else says, you can bump them out and they get their worker back, but you can't go where you currently are. I like the brewmaster moving around, trying to speed up the game, because every time it goes to the advertise action, which I didn't talk about, it's going to bring out an extra customer. So that's going to get through the deck quicker. So every 3 rounds, you're going to get an extra customer that comes out. And I like how, I mean, there's not really player interaction really, other than maybe stealing a recipe card that someone else may want or whatever. And I also like that it comes with this, which isn't even part of the game, but it's awesome. 1 free elephant. I mean, the company is called 1 Free Elephant, which makes sense, I guess. So yeah, that is Microbrew. This game is great. It's fun. The only issue I have is maybe it could be a little bigger. It's kind of hard to move the little pieces around the still when you have to put them on your beer, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah, that is Microbrew from 1 Free Elephant Games. I'll put some links in the video on where you can find it, or if it's going to Kickstarter or whatever, so you can go down there for more information. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the review, and keep gaming.